Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Make Your Mind. This is actually a pre recorded video that I will be posting after the showcase that just dropped this Saturday. This is actually a behind the scenes take on sort of how I do this. A lot of people have been asking how to do things like, they've been asking how exactly I do this, as far as being able to do this by hand and everything, and this one in particular. This is the sculpture of me making Atlas and Peabody. So as you can see, I got some of my white plastilina clay up here. And I already had a bunch of stuff pre-made already, such as the shoulder pads, the thigh pads, knee pads, and even like here, I got the legs right here that I had already made. And here are the beginning of the arms that I had already made. And this is actually something that I just finished right here. There's the body of Peabody. This is just awesome characters. I loved the co-op on Portal 2. That was such a fun game. And just to finish this off, let's go ahead and put the little... There we go. There's Peabody. As you can see, I got the little... What I've been using is I've simply been using... Well, the best can be described is the only tool I've really been using, a toothpick. I used a toothpick to sort of get the details on the inside of the eye, because the inside of the eye, for both Atlas and Peabody, they both sort of look like the Aperture Science logo. As you can see, so right there, so I used the center of the toothpick there, just to sort of make the eye. So there we go. As you can see, it gives it that sort of look. So that's how I do that. So as you can see, the one thing about Peabody and Atlas is that the center section of the body here actually comes out, and when you go from one test chamber to another, basically Atlas and Peabody, they're basically taken apart and then transported to the next section instead of giving them free will, more or less, because the way GLaDOS designed these robots is so that she can be in complete control over them, unlike she was with Shell, with the humans. And even to a certain point with the little pods like Wheatley and all of the other ones. It's been a while, so I can't remember all of the names. I'll get into more detail with the names coming up with some of the cores. Excuse me, the cores. I'll talk about the cores more when the video drops, which you have already seen. So this is just a quick little thing. I made these, and I started making these essentially little gray balls here. These were going to be the sort of joints in between the sort of like, because you see you got these mounting points here to the main frame of the body of Peabody, and then you have this here, and then you have some pistons that come off of here, and then you have the shoulder that goes down to the arm. So essentially what I have to do now is continue to work on, I'm going to do the arm, and then I'm going to do the leg. And when I do that, I'm also going to start on Atlas. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video than I normally do. So with that, let me go ahead and turn on some music and enjoy. There we go. All right. As you can see, I got the portal gun that I made right here. Everybody saw the preview video that I posted on Friday. Got the portal gun that I made. That looks so cool. That came out really well. And of course the portal gun comes out both blue and orange, so this one doesn't really have any color. It's like a portal gun that's not activated yet. So I'll put that up there just as for reference. And let's keep working on Peabody. I actually have a picture for reference Peabody that I'm actually using. So I got some of my white clay light here, so let's begin. So one thing about Peabody with the detail is that Peabody has these opposing, almost they look like pistons or almost like little control arms that come off of these, I guess these are like shoulder plates. And it appears that there is 4 of them according to the picture that I'm seeing. So what I'm doing is I'm essentially taking the clay and rolling it simply just like that with my finger and trying to blend it in. Then I push it with my finger like so. There we go, check that out. And then I do the same thing the other side. I'm just pinching it. As you can see, I'm using my claw. It's sort of from doing this and from habit. I use my middle finger for designs most of the time, so I bend my pointer finger out of the way just so it doesn't get in the way, but I do use it sometimes when I'm making detail. So let's bend that towards the middle. There we go. So there's one side, and then essentially what's going to happen is, well, let's see it from the picture that I'm looking at. It actually looks more like it's black, so I'm going to I actually have some black that I took earlier. So I'm actually going to use some black to actually make this sort of back frame that sort of gets onto the arm. So it sort of sits under there like that, and then the back of the arm sort of comes down like this. It seems like they're very very Apple-esque, very iPhone-esque with their design. Like, you know, the contrast with blacks and whites, and the curves and the clean surfaces and the shine. Now I can't recreate the shine with this clay, with this being wax-based, but this will be some cool stuff here. So there we go. Let's see if I can match that up. That looks pretty good. So there's that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the white here. Actually, I'm going to need a little more than that, so let me take some off. Now, the one thing about this clay you got to be careful with is when you're using especially contrasting colors like this black and white, you don't want to switch around with them too much, because then the black will die off into the white, but it won't work the other way around. So you do have to be you have to be weary of that as you're using this type of clay. So let me go ahead and put on these are the pistons. Sorry, I got to keep that in the camera. I'm just looking at it sort of offset on the camera. Well, the other thing, make sure, I know sometimes I do that when I'm rolling the clay, I'll keep a ball in my hand right here and simply push it so that I can keep the clay all in one, but I don't want to mix the colors together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that right in there. But sometimes I'll put some away, like you see, I'll break off a piece and I'll add it to that so that I can save it for later. See that? I need to make it a little smaller. Let's see here. There we go. As you can see, I mean, look, this video is already 8 minutes in, and I've done only some small details. These things do take time. Like I said, I've already put in about, let's see, that's a little too much. So what I do is I take some off, I add it to that. These little piston things are very, very small, so you have to sort of work with them. And now I'm going to bend them in just slightly. Take a little bit off of that. Then put that just like that. Now this clay is just going to be free. It's freestanding. There isn't going to be. I'm not going to have any. There's no wires that are going to be in this. I may do a wire for the body. I may put a wire in the center of the body, just to sort of hold it up, and maybe try to put a wire inside the arms. Which, the wire that I normally use, I use this right here, which is essentially jewelry wire. It's very thin gauge, and you can even clip this stuff with nail clippers. It's very, very easy to work with. But I'll put some wire into the arm so that way it'll hold steady, because with these little sections like this, since everything is wax-based, it's all very soft. You have to be somewhat careful with it. Okay, so let me go ahead. I'm going to add a little bit more to this part. This is the sort of backside of the arm. Like so. Now, I'm not going to get the design 100% perfect, but I'm going to get it as close as I can, with maybe a few changes of my own along the way. So there's that, and then the frame is going to sit right on these pistons, like so. So that way you got the piston shape, just like that. the front side of the arm is going to look like this. Let's see, take some of that off. I'm using a picture. There's a picture just to the right, actually on my monitor. This music. It's so good. This was actually an Easter egg in the game. Oh gosh, this music's bringing back some memories. Oh man, this game was so good. Okay, there's the back side of the arm, so it kind of looks like that. Okay, now I have the shoulder plates. Now they look kind of big, so I'm going to go ahead and trim those down. Make them a little bit smaller, just like that. And then, see, I need to make them a little bit smaller again. So as you can see, I'm sort of taking bits off and adding them later. Or not adding them later, but sort of adjusting my design as I go, just to get the shape right. Because that's the big thing about this stuff, is just making the shapes right. And there we go. Boop 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 doo 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 doo. God, this music is so good. Oh man, I beat Portal 2 probably about 6 or 7 times when I had it for the Xbox 360. God, that game was so good. I want to get it again. This game is making me want to buy it again, Valve. That's how good that game was. Okay, so the same thing with the rest of the arm. What I gotta do is I gotta do the back side of the frame and then bend it down like this. So this is the sort of shoulder joint, which is gonna come like this, or not shoulder, but the elbow joint like that. And then there's the start of the arm. Look at that! Doesn't it look so freaking cool? I'm just reminiscing over this for a little bit. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. Okay. Could I finish one of the hands in time for the end of this video? I don't know. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching. I've had a lot of people asking me how I do this. And so I'm going to be trying to do this more often, where I do these behind-the-scene videos. Now, I know I am short of time, so I'll try to make them as quick and as good as I can. But here, you know what? I need to switch. There we go. And now, I'm going to use some white clay, and I'm actually going to make the main body of Atlas. Atlas is the blue companion to the orange Peabody. So, let's see. He's basically just a round ball. Now, a tool that I typically use, I know sometimes I don't use tools, but in this case, to get the shape right, I am going to have to use a tool. I use this. This is a little clay knife that I got in a clay set. I got it from the Van Kurter baking clay set. It was 100 pieces. If you want to see my review on that, click this link up here to go check that out. This is one of the tools it came with. It's a little putty knife. It's not sharp at all. It's sharp enough to cut through clay, though, and it has this little ball on the end that I use. So you roll that into my hands just like this, and then I simply press that in just to sort of get the desired shape that I'm looking for. And then there's the beginning of Atlas. Wow, this music is actually quite appropriate. Oh, now it's over. Oh well, it's all good. So I go like that, just like that. Let me turn it down a little bit. There we go. And now what I do is I take a little bit of this black on the inside here. And I do the same thing with this, and I push it on the inside, just to sort of make the inside shape like that. Sorry, I think I may have to skip that song. The song gets a little loud. Okay, now, let me get back to Let's see, what can I use? What can I use? I think I'll actually use a little bit of this blue right here that I have to make Atlas's eyes. Now, what color? Yeah, they're like light blue. Do I have a base color blue? Oh, I have a regular blue. Here we go. I think I'll use this instead. Yeah, that's a slightly better color. It's a little bit brighter. So there we go. So now, as you can see, like I did with Peabody here, I did the white on the back and then the orange on the inside. So I'm going to do the white again. This is for Atlas. I'm going to put that on the inside just like that. Yeah, he has a circular eye, but a sort of slightly curved square opening. And then, of course, he has the Aperture Science logo, which is sort of his eyeball. I mean, it's sort of like that. So then, you see, once again, I keep the clay just inside the cracks of my fingers like that in order to make it a little bit smaller. Now, the different thing about Atlas is that he has a sort of almost, I guess an eye flap, or like an eyelid, in a way that sort of covers his eye. And it's sort of squared off, so what I'm going to do, you see that a little bit of the blue is coming off on the clay here, but I'm going to check the back side here. And it's sort of curved off at the top, so I'm going to leave a little curve like that. Just like that, there we go. And then now what I'm going to do is I've got to take my little putty knife, and he has these little details around the ball sort of main body section. So now I'm going to do that, and bring this down, like so, just like that. Curve that in and sort of blend it in like this, and do the same thing for the other side. You see, I'm looking at this sort of offset from the camera, so I do apologize if it's not perfectly centered in the shot here. Once again, this is just me in my free time, just sort of doing this stuff by hand. So there's the beginning of Atlas, but now I'll do the fun bit, which is the eyeballs, or the inside of the eye, the detail. So I take the tip of my toothpick and I just gently press on the inside to get that line, you see that? And then I simply repeat that step all along the eyeball. Now here I'm going to have to take the eye flap off so I can get the rest. Just like that. And then as I go all the way around, like so. There we go. Now you see how it's all the way around, just like that. Now I'll simply open up the center of the eyeball, and bam! Ooh, come on camera, focus up. There we go. There's Atlas. Or actually, hang on. One last thing. Boop. There's the body of Atlas. That's so cool. Although I gotta see, is there a picture of him from the side? Sort of, not really. But now what I got to do is I got to look on. There's a couple of pictures here of the sort of frame that he has around him. I'm sort of scrolling through the photos. This is just photos on Google, real quick. Oh, there's the back. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Atlas has a full like open back section. I didn't know that. It actually exposes, it looks like little motors and gears and stuff, so I'm going to have to do that too. Ooh, that's going to be cool. All right. So here, let me go ahead and roll this up here. Let me put the blue back over here. Now I got my orange there for the rest of Peabody. Now, of course, with these, you've already seen the video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these sort of ball shape frame that goes around Atlas, like so, and it has these little bits that come off of it. And yeah, this video is going to be a little long. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to be yet, and most of these videos I do, they're usually just one take. I don't really, I have yet to really figure out, I haven't had time to figure out how editing software kind of works. But I'm working on it. Like I said, when I got free time, if I got a little bit of free time today, I'm going to look into it and see if I can save this and try to see if I can do something like a time lapse or something. I'm not exactly sure yet. But there's the part of the frame, like so. Now Atlas has these really large shoulder pieces, I guess would be the way to call it. But let's go ahead and make the frame all the way around like this. Oh god, the music! The music was so good in this game. Oh my god. Ah! The nostalgia, the memories. They just don't make video games like this one anymore. But I know that in the Steam community, I know that they've had mods where people have made some really incredible custom maps. Oh, sorry, let me get this in the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. So there's a sort of backside to the frame that kind of flips up like this. And I'm going to put a little bit of my own sort of details into this. So what I want to do is I want to put a little support piece sort of right there. That'll be the back side of the frame. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to do these 100%, but I'm going to do them as best as I can, along with a little bit of touches of my own. Okay, so there is the frame for Atlas. Check them out. It's so cool. Okay, so now, let's see, I'm actually going to put a little sort of square piece on the inside here, just to kind of match the way the frame sort of looks for Peabody here. Let's see, I'm going to need a little more black for the other side. And there we go, there's the beginning of Atlas, check it out! Oh my god, this is cool! I've actually never made these guys before, but I've been a huge fan of the game. Now, Atlas, does he have the little blue dot? I don't see it. But you know what, I think just to match Peabody, I think putting a little blue dot down in the corner, there we go. There we go, so there's the beginning of Atlas and Peabody. So by the time watching this video, you've already seen the actual end result, and I sincerely hope you guys enjoy it. I'm past 820 subscribers. I'll be working on those legs and arms in a minute, but as you can see, I'm just chugging right along, making these cool sculptures, and I'll be finished with Atlas and Peabody in no time. And once again, oop. Yeah, see, once again, this wax clay, you gotta be patient with it. See how these little piston bits, they just want to come off? Yeah, see, there we go. There we go, put the arm back together, but there you have it. There's the beginning of Atlas, and the continuation of Peabody. So with that, if you haven't actually watched the video of the finished showcase, go check out the link right up here. And with that, that'll conclude this video. I'm nearly at almost 25 minutes, so I want to go ahead, I don't want to make it too long. And if you want to see, if you like this kind of content, if you like the behind-the-scenes stuff, please click the like button down below, leave a comment saying whether you like it or not, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss the next video. By the time the showcase is posted, I'll have talked about what the new sculpture is, so I don't want to spoil it. Just go check out that link that was up there. And with that, thank you so much for watching this content, and I will see all of you on the next Sculpture Showcase here on Make Your Mind.